You know, I've said this to my followers before, and I'm going to say it again. One of the most important things that you can do, and it sounds simple, and it is simple, is just identify what a player is early on in his career and just be okay with that. I mean, he should try to improve, but it's kind of like if you have a defenseman that's an offensive-minded guy, you kind of just need to find him the right partner that he meshes well with. That's one thing that frustrates me about some teams, is they have these players that I'm like, man, they just are who they are, right? They're never going to change. This is who he is. And it's kind of like the team tries to fit a square peg in a round hole. We're going to be talking about how that relates to the Montreal Canadiens in this video, but welcome back to Pixel Plus Hockey. If you can make sure to hit that subscribe button, it'd be so greatly appreciated. And thank you so much to those that are already supporting me as well. It is very humbling. And what a better way to cap this off than for Noah Dobson to have 3 assists against the Boston Bruins. Because I don't know about you guys, but I've been seeing on social media a little bit of heat on my boy Noah Dobson. Now, I said it from the start that Noah Dobson is not a perfect player by any means, but he is still legitimately very good. But again, he's just the type of player that you kind of need to put in position to succeed. He's not an all-around elite number 1 defenseman, but let's be clear, this guy's not even getting number 1 power play time, and he's on pace for 51 points right now. This is a player with 23 points in 37 games. In my opinion, he has been excellent. Drop it below. What do you think that he needs to improve on? Do you think that they're right? Do you think that he honestly just needs to be better defensively? But I mean, this is a player who's had 70 points in his NHL career. I think the Montreal Canadiens did very well, although they did pay him a very hefty price. And this is what we're going to be talking about today from the Sick Podcast. Should the way Dobson plays defense be a concern for the Montreal Canadiens? Now, to be fair with this, it is fair to say that, maybe if he turns into a complete, horrible guy in his own zone, I don't think he's that bad in his own zone. I just wish he was more physical in his own zone. But I actually really, really like, Noah Dobson. Here we have from Le Habitant, you just do not trade a player like Noah Dobson. And there's a lot of trolling going on online right now, which is absolutely hilarious from the Noah Dobson lovers. Anyways, I just love it when Noah Dobson shows up in that game and absolutely dominates. And honestly, it's just great. It's almost like he heard all the haters in the comments or whatever, even though he probably ignored them. Now, one other thing I want to talk about in this video for sure is touching on a certain player that just signed with the Montreal Canadiens. Canadiens confirm Bryce Pikford signing as his expected arrival timeline is revealed, close quote. This is another nice player the Montreal Canadiens have to add to their stacked prospect pool. And the reality here is, if you can get a star to be drafted in the 3rd round, 81st overall, like Bryce Pikford is, you're doing pretty well. He's a defenseman. He shoots right, 6'1". Now, in the WHL this year, he's been unfrigging believable at only 19 years old, might I add. 44 points in 31 games. And again, I'm going to say this again, he shoots right. That's how amazing this is. Now, here we have a very interesting quote from Eric Ingles. Sounds like an entry-level contract is done for Bryce Pikford with the Canadiens. The right-hand D, taken 81st overall in the 2025 draft, has been torching the WHL with the Medicine Hat Tigers this season. He has 25 goals and 44 points in 31 games after posting a 13-goal, 25-point in 18 playoff games last spring. And the better thing about this is, let's just take a look at this. 3-year ELC begins 2026 and 2027, so we love to see that. Man, if this player works out with Reinbacher and Caden Gooley, obviously can play consistently, like, man, the Habs are going to have a stacked blue line. And then think about it, with them picking up Danault and then maybe Michael Hage working out as well, they could actually be built really well down the middle from not really being built that well down the middle this season, right? The Habs have made a couple of smart moves right now, and this team is absolutely a shoo-in to make the playoffs. And this is another quote from Marco D'Amico that I really like, and I like how he circles one thing about the Montreal Canadiens that I've been talking about as well. Marco D'Amico, Bryce Pikford signing his 3-year ELC effective next season. Solid gamble on a 19-year-old at the 2025 draft. That is trending towards being another high-value pick for Montreal. 25 goals in 31 games for a young right-hand D, close quote. And I want to circle this when he talks about high-value picks for Montreal. He is exactly right. You want to know who else is a high-value pick? Alexander Zborowski. The Montreal Canadiens have been really, really good at just getting straight-up values for young players, right? So if you're going to draft in the second round, you might as well swing for the fences. I love it when teams in the first 3 rounds of every draft, first, second, and third, swing for the absolute fences. And I'm telling you right now, the Montreal Canadiens have completely changed their philosophy in drafting since Kent Hughes came, for sure, where they're just saying, we're going to try to get a stud in every round, and I love to see it. And again, the best thing about this is the Montreal Canadiens don't need to rush him. They don't have to rush him. They have David Reinbacher, they have Gouli, they have so many young defensemen. They have Noah Dobson, who straight up had an unbelievable game today. You just don't have to rush this guy. Like, they're beginning to have a pretty stacked blue line, just in general. So honestly, if I was the management with the Montreal Canadiens, I would take my time with both David Reinbacher and Pikford. I want both of them to take their time. I'd love to see Pikford in Laval next season for sure. I think that he is going to be a player that needs some time, right? He's going to need some time in the American Hockey League to hone his skills. Like, he's not going to be a guy that can just jump in the NHL. Like, this is a guy that I would be extra careful with. There's some players that I think that you can just like put them in the lineup and just play. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Bryce Pikford seems like a guy you would probably want to be patient with. Why don't you drop it below and tell me what you think? Do you guys agree with my analysis on that? And this is really interesting stuff, too. Other than that, we want to see Montembeault getting back. Here's another really interesting quote. With Montembeault staying back in Brassard and Fowler getting the nod in Boston, the organization is clearly riding the hot hand as it heads into the break. How Fowler responds to the high-profile road matchup will be closely watched. And that was the quote before this game. One thing that I'm really, really liking here is that they're just not throwing Sam Montembeault back in the lineup. They're obviously taking their time with this player. Yes, he had 2 games in the American Hockey League, but he really only had a 904 save percent average. I don't know. Approaching this with Montembeault is going to be really difficult. It's going to be really complex. You got to be careful with this. I want them to take it slow with Montembeault. I think we should just let Fowler play and just take it slow with this guy. I don't know. Something tells me that he's going to need some time to get his head straight. I think he needs, honestly, some rest, in my opinion. I mean, Jacob Fowler, 5 games, 918 save percent average, okay, and a 2.4 goals against. So, yeah, I think that Jacob Fowler is going to be pretty good, and I don't think that they're ruining Jacob Fowler either. Anyways, guys, I'm going to leave this video here. If you could make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it, guys, and make sure to have a great day. Goodbye, guys.